Taylor from Bethune-Cookman. Coach Taylor,
Hey,
what up?
hey, what's going on, man? Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, welcome, man. Welcome. Hopefully we didn't set the stage wrong by having another one of your conference opponent players on the show, man. Hopefully that didn't
I,
set the
I definitely want to talk to you off camera about that situation. I feel like me and you need to have a real conversation about that because
you're like Kevin's like, oh, so one of the coaches that was probably thinking that, oh, okay, I got it.
okay, I didn't. Yeah, nah. He man, impressive dude, man. It's no surprise that he having success. I mean, you can just hear it in the interview today. I mean, he's very well balanced kid. I think he'll do well.
Yeah, tell us real quick before we get about the season. So, Mr. Maker, the 5-star chooses to go to a school that is an HBCU, but there's a lot of, and that's a great thing. It's nationally celebrated. But there's a lot of other great players like Anthony Tark, like the guys on your roster. Morgan State has good players. Lavelle Moulton has good players on his roster. Prairie View has won championships. TSU is always one of the championship programs at the HBCU level. So talk a little bit about just the players in general, and then what Maker making that move did to bring national attention to something that probably should have got some attention anyway.
Man, I think, one of the things that, maybe outside of college basketball, so like if you don't work in college basketball, you don't know, but there's really good talent in the HBCU leagues, the MEAC, the SWAC, I mean, even CIAA, SIACC, like these leagues, I mean, there's good talent, you know what I mean? And I think that, when you work in Division One, you work in Division Two, I mean, you work in college basketball as a whole. I found out this year there's even HBCU JUCOs here in the country. I think that the talent, in the way, in the level of our game right now, I think is at a high level. And I think that, it's a credit to the coaches. You mentioned some names, Lavelle Moulton. I got to big up my guy, Ryan Ritter. There's some guys, the guys at Norfolk, the guys at Morgan, obviously the guys at Howard, they're doing a heck of a job. Just getting out here, marketing, the brand of what it means to, obviously have an opportunity to play at the college level, but then getting that unique experience of, attending the HBCU. And I think that, the social climate that we in right now is kind of just open the door for the conversation to be a little bit more commonplace, maybe in some realms that it wasn't. And then I think, with Maker making that decision this year to attend Howard and, getting to campus and obviously, being a part of their program. I mean, the history of the game, it funnels through HBCUs. It's kind of like, back in the day with the ABA, when there wasn't an opportunity for inclusion, this was the only avenue. And so I think that, because, integration, there are opportunities to get to what we call, bigger name universities. The tradition and the foundation that HBCUs still have, I mean, that's still today. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not Mary McLeod Bethune, but I'm every day trying to carry that mission of why she opened the school. You know what I mean? And I think that's going to last forever.
What do you think are some misconceptions about HBCU basketball? Because it does feel like it gets labeled, different or less than in the college basketball world. What do you think are some misconceptions about it? Because there are so many high-level guys playing at that level right now.
I think the greatest misconception always will center around like the resources. It's always going to go around like, well, they don't have as much or this. But the NCAA, they do this great job of neutralizing the hoops got to be 10 feet, the court's got to be 94 by 50. Like there are certain rules and parameters that the game don't really matter about the paint that's on the floor. And so I think, one of the biggest misconceptions is the resources, but I just alluded to this. The greatest resources that HBCUs have are the people. I mean, there's going to be phenomenal coaches, phenomenal administrators. I mean, there are going to be people in these universities that would transform and transcend a lot of these student athletes' lives that, they probably wouldn't get that interaction or that opportunity to connect at a PWI.
So talk to me a little bit about your relationship with Ryan Ritter. You talked about him as a guy maybe doesn't get a lot of love nationally, but he's done a really good job with your program. And just talk to me about, your relationship with him and what makes him such a good head coach.
Man, me and Ryan got one of the probably most unique, associate head coaches, a head coach, assistant coach relationships in the country. I mean, we like genuinely best friends. Like we got, I was in Ryan's wedding, our families get together. In terms of just our relationship, it centers more around our general philosophy in life, more than it does sport. I mean, sport is what connected us. The way we met was obviously through opportunity to work together, but the connection that we had, I think it transcends, our opportunity to work with one another. And I think one of the things that people who don't know Ryan, people who haven't had an opportunity to see us play, I mean, he's got to be probably one of the best at, being even keel and doing more with less that I've been around. And I've coached at a lot of different places. I've been fortunate to work with some great head coaches, what I'm saying? Some phenomenal head coaches. I got to always tell Ryan, I think he's one of the best, what I mean, in the country. We talk about it all the time as friends, but even as like a colleague, I mean, he blows me away. Sometimes we'll be in the thick of, trying to navigate troubled waters, just kind of like we are now with the COVID situation. And I mean, he as cool as they are.
Yeah, we got a question in from the audience. I got Cabral Huff. He wants to know what your day-to-day looks like, considering you guys aren't playing right now, and what are you doing to keep your players locked into your program?
Man, that's a big question, Huff. So I mean, it's a grind. I mean, we're in off season right now, and I think that one of the toughest things about it is, everybody hits this point at some point, through the cycle of the season. Once, conference tournament is over, Final Four is finished, everybody's locking in the, recruiting their own players, looking at the roster for next year. I mean, we got dealt that hand in November. You know what I mean? We're literally just in off-season mode, trying to figure out, make sure that our current guys are locked into what, our mission is, our plan is for the spring. Obviously they're dealing with, life in general with, COVID and the restrictions that's placed on all of us. But again, just from a basketball perspective as a coach, I mean, just trying to keep them locked into that, and keep those relationships fresh. We don't have an opportunity to play and go through, games and ups and downs. So you're trying to keep that relationship, authentic and genuine. And then, I mean, like all of us, man, you try to recruit, you try to, shuffle and do what the best you can with what we given. I mean, we're all in a dead period, so we can't get out and about. But you just trying to beat the bushes, making contacts, calling guys, doing everything you can, honestly, to try to get better. You know what I mean? That's just the truth. I mean, the we're not playing games, but the job and the mission and the passion, none of that doesn't get put on hold.
I think might have an audio issue here for Brian. Let me see. Butt in if you got anything, Brian. But I'll just ask you one more.
Yeah.
I'm curious. We talked to a coach in the Ivy League last week, and he said one of the cool things been able to watch the rest of college basketball in the season. Walk me through what you might have learned from watching other games so far in the first 3 weeks or so of the college basketball season.
COVID is the great equalizer, man. I mean, you see all of these 9-1s getting wins. You see, games that people who may be casual fans may consider to be upsets, but those of us who are in the industry and watch the way a lot of these programs work, you kind of seeing it come to fruition. And I think that it's been kind of awesome, honestly, to see just the work show. If I could, name drop a couple of programs like with, Coach Golden and those guys are doing at Abilene Christian. I mean, that's great. I mean, I felt like I've, seen that program from Division II when I played at Commerce to, now one of my former players being on staff there. Obviously, my relationship with Brian and his time in the program. I mean, to see them be where they are and get national attention. I mean, that's huge. UNCG, you name dropped. I mean, watching Tark, I mean, his story. I mean, you just see so many of those stories. And I think, being out, that's something that you never get because, I mean, we're always just focused on our next game, our team, what do we got to get doing. So taking that part of it kind of off the plate is kind of definitely increased the fanhood of the game again. So I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, man. So great to have you on. Any last words you got? I know you guys don't get to play this season, which is tough. And, Tark kind of had some positive message. I know it's a hard time, but it's also we're healthy. So we got to count our blessings for sure. But, just any last words you have and that you want to leave with before you take off.
No, man. I just want to, encourage everybody to, enjoy their holiday times, use this opportunity to, the season to just cherish those that we have. I was unfortunate to lose my grandfather to COVID this fall. And, you just never know how much time you got. So, be close to the ones that you love and make sure you express that. Let people know that you love them every day, every chance you get.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I love you, man. Great to have you on.
Love you too, B.
Your family, proud of you, man. And hate that you're not playing, but I hope you're getting to take this time to keep getting better and get some family time in with your daughter and your loved ones, and get a chance to make some off-season strategy moves for when you guys are going next season, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all having me on, B, and really appreciate it. Kevin, man, doing a great job. Want to congratulate you guys on kind of what you guys are doing. This is awesome. B, make sure you give me a call about that Turk thing. No, seriously.
Yeah, you got it, man. Appreciate you so much.
All right, man.
Happy holidays.
Thanks for hopping on.